Awesome. Nick, welcome back. Thank you. We had you here in like January-ish.
I think January.
Yeah, you were over at Monarch Glen. I see that things have been clicking along there, really well, and you got an upgrade and headed on over to Liberty West, which is a Georgetown community.
Correct. Right on the border there between Georgetown and Millsboro.
Yeah. That community has been, I know it started years ago with another builder on the other side, and then Liberty West. That was Liberty East, now Liberty West, and that's just Hovnanian, correct?
Correct.
Yep. So you guys have that whole side. The community itself, it's been a little bit since I've been there. Are there amenities there? What's the layout of the land and the community itself?
Yeah, so we actually share a clubhouse with Liberty East right across the street. So we have a clubhouse with a fitness center, billiards room, little dining area, bar. Then you have the pool in the back of that clubhouse there. And then over on our side, we're going to have a pickleball court and tot lot.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, and I guess if we pull it up here, we can kind of see. So this is Liberty West here, correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's the east. There's west. To give a little bearings on the community itself. For people that know, if they've ever been looking at Shell Brothers over the years, this is Independence, which has just been a big, huge 55+ community that everyone has known about since, I don't know, it feels like 1910. That project was going on for a long time, but this is right off of Route 5, which is right down the street from, going down to where Paradise Grill is and, boating and all the stuff that goes on down here. I feel like I lost my bearings. Here we go, down here. So it's, you're probably 10, 12 minutes to being down where all those restaurants are in there. The community itself, it's funny, the first time that I drove there, and I tell clients this all the time, especially when you're driving on like backcountry roads, it seems like it takes like 3 or 4 times as long the first time that you drive somewhere, because you don't know which road you're looking for the road to turn off of. But when you put it into like where Independence is, it's literally right off of the back entrance of where Independence is. So this is, to kind of the point that you were just saying before we started, it's super centrally located.
Absolutely. So if you have someone that really is looking to take advantage of everything that Sussex County has to offer, you can access it 30, 45 minutes at the most, but more than likely it probably is going to take anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously depending on traffic and whatnot.
Oh, yeah, for
but
sure.
you can, run through all the back roads to get down to the beach, head over to Beaver Dam Road, take Beaver Dam Road straight down to 5 Points, while being reserved. It's a really quiet setting back there. If you drive up and down the road, there's not a whole bunch that's going on there, so you're not going to be fighting traffic probably ever, really.
Yeah.
At least right now.
I mean, what's great about it too is you're in between Route 9 and 24. So if you want to go out on a Saturday, to run to the grocery store, you're 10, 12 minutes away. You don't have to fight with the beach traffic.
Yep.
That's the benefit of being a little bit farther out from the beach, is that you get more, less hustle and bustle and just quicker access to really everything you need in the area.
And you can decide, you can go east if you want and go, to Route 1, or you can go west to 113, which, on 113, that's where, anyone that's watched this will hear me say, I always call it like a locals highway. It's 2 lanes either way that probably every town across America has. That's just the kind of your big box stores. Your typical, they've got Texas Roadhouse and they've got BJ's and, Lowe's and all kinds of stuff up and down that road. All your tile stores and carpet stores and mechanics and everything. So you might, maybe not quite in between, but really close, maybe right between 1 and 113, depending on how traffic is. So, it's nice to have that again. And then locally, you can just pop right over into Millsboro, and if you want to, for dining and some, plenty of entertainment there for sure.
Yeah. Long Neck is only I think 7 minutes away, depending on traffic. So you can shoot right down there, whether you're grocery shopping, going out to eat.
And they just opened up an Old World Bread, which I'm not sure if you saw that.
Nice.
That just opened up. So that's right there in Long Neck. Awesome. I saw a guy who posted he was the first person. And he was like taking selfies. He was so excited to be first person and first guest at Old World Bread.
Did he win like free bread?
yeah, exactly. So the community itself, amenities. So sometimes when you have these communities that are kind of more in like the in between of 1 and 13, they tend to be be, well and septic. They're on like 3/4 acre lots, and they have to because they're well and septic. This is not correct. This is
It's gonna be public sewer and water.
awesome.
Yep.
So it's nice to be able to be kind of in that more like reserve setting while not having to deal with kind of the well and septic stuff. Exactly. It's gotten a lot better since like, 60s, 70s, 80s, but it is still well and septic. You still got to dump the stuff down the toilet every once in a while. And
Also natural gas too, right?
Natural gas.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So you're going to see a lot of similarities to Monarch Glen.
Right.
Like natural gas, and then also lawn care is taken care of by the HOA as well.
Okay. What else is included? Anything else outside of that? Just trash included?
Trash, recycling, common area maintenance, of course the amenities, and then that lawn care, which includes mowing and edging.
Cool. Well, I mean, and I like to always bring this up because when I moved down here, I didn't realize, we used to have, municipal trash, and then you come down and you're like, oh, I just get, trash service. And it's like, well, yes, but it's private and you have to pay for it. And I think I'm up to $72 a quarter, which, adds up.
It does.
It's like, hey, if it's included in your HOA, that's great. How much is the HOA there?
It's going to be $184 a month, and it is collected yearly, which I kind of like that, get it all out of the way.
Yeah.
Paid up front.
Yeah. So you get that, and you don't have to, kind of like set it and forget it, and put your trash cans out. It's all taken care of. Get your beer and watch your guy cut the grass for you, and
there you go.
Smile and you're done. So it's nice to kind of have that, kind of carefree lifestyle. And also, if it's a secondary home, you don't have to worry about when you pull up. The first thing I do is put on your like work sneakers and get out there and cut the grass. It's
ready to go.
Yeah. Just pull up and rock and roll.
I know the clubhouse and pools in Liberty East. Do you have a time frame as to when the you said pickleball?
Yes.
Pickleball court.
So that's going to be towards the end of us building over there.
Okay.
At Liberty.
So kind of the last phase.
Yeah, last phase is when that's going to be completed.
Is there a site plan? Let's see.
So you guys are in phase 2 now, I believe, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So I think there's a total of 3 phases or 4.
It's actually 4.
4, okay.
I want to say phase 2 is broken up into 2 sub-phases almost.
Okay.
My computer's not playing well here. So where is this? Is the entrance here?
Yep.
And did it start? I'm assuming it started phase 1 here.
Yep, absolutely.
And how far back are you guys currently?
So we are back to
I see
107 and 13. I'm seeing that correctly.
We're all like squinting.
Yeah, so 107 and 13.
Okay, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
And the models are 89 and 90, right?
It's actually 80. It should be 87 and 88.
Oh, sorry, yeah, 87, 80, yeah.
Lost which way? Oh, here we go.
Right,
87, 87, 88. Awesome. So in the beginning stages of the community, so lots of options, lots of things to pick from. So you obviously have pond lots, which is nice. These are, so right now it's between, this is Hollyville and Zor.
Yep.
Are these wooded lots or what is this?
So we do have a fence running, I think, to around lot 80, I want to say. But we're going to have a trail actually built in right there along that trail. You see that little line?
Is it?
Yeah, I believe they planted some privacy trees, right?
Yeah, we did
Yeah.
plant some trees up that way too. Like I said, I think it ends right around 80 or 81.
Okay.
But yeah, and we're going to have a walking trail surround the community as well.
Yeah, and then ponds throughout as obviously it progresses. So how many homes are in the full?
It's going to be 181.
That's big. Wow.
And you could see there on the site plan, most of those lots back to like some open space or, those ponds, which are great.
This is really these as you get through some of these. Number one, the depth between these pond lots looks as though it's not like a little skinny run of a pond, and that is not a lot of people realize when a developer is going through a project. They obviously make money by selling land, so the fact that they gave up so much land to give so much depth between it was pretty cool that they did that, because they could have just had a pond that was much narrower and maybe squeezed in another 10 lots and made that much more money. But having that depth definitely adds a lot of value to between those homes. These are going to be great lots over here.
And also with those ponds too, it has those winding roads like we talked about over at Monarch Glen as well, which kind of, it's not that grid layout that you typically see in a lot of other new communities.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
it's pretty well.
Yeah, I can't stand it when you pull in and it's just like a 500-yard shot and you just see like mailboxes or whatever all the way down and you just see the peaks just going down. And I always call it reminds me of E.T. When they're in that scene when they're riding their bikes and it's just like the same thing all the way down. And people don't realize when you do that winding, you also cut into that, the ice cube effect, the ice cube tray style, which is the quick and easy way of gridding up a piece of land to make as much money as possible. Right. So when you do those curves, it gives you snapshots. It makes it feel smaller because you're only seeing a smaller distance. It feels a little bit more intimate. And, but again, it's the right way to develop if you're going to be developing. So it's nice that they did that. You have spec homes that are available here.
Yes.
They can do to be built as well.
Yeah, correct. So the majority of those blue dots that you're seeing on there, those are going to be available lots. Some of them, I believe, are slated for spec homes. Okay. But for instance, like from 99 to 102, obviously it looks like 101 has sold, but those are available. Those have great views. We have a few quick move-in homes still available along that line from 89 to 98. Those also have some amazing views too.
And the quick move-in homes, the timing, you're looking at like end of April, end of May.
Yep, we got a few that are going to be done end of April, end of May, and then we also have some that are going to be done like mid-June as well.
Yeah, well, and
right before summer.
Yeah.
Well, and on top of that, we got to talk about this. If there's a spec home that someone finds that they really like and they can close on it before the end of May, you guys are doing buy downs.
Yes, correct.
That's huge.
Is it it's a 3-2-1 buy down, correct?
Yeah, well, it's actually considered a 2-1 buy down.
2-1?
Yeah, but you're looking at, for the first, if you're doing conventional loan, you're looking at 3.5% for that first year, and then you're looking at 4.5% for that second year. Then from year 3 to 30, it's going to be 5.5%.
Wow.
Which is pretty unbeatable.
And what a lot of people don't realize with those buy downs is within that time period, you can always refinance.
Yep.
So if the rates drop to 5% next year, you don't have to ride out that time. You could just immediately refinance.
Hop right on it.
Yep. Well, and that money is literally put. So basically, what KHUV is doing is this isn't an ARM. This isn't an adjustable rate mortgage or whatever. It's a 30-year mortgage that basically KHUV is putting money in escrow to pay for the first year 2% and then pay 1%, and it sits in escrow and they pull those funds from that account. So to Josh's point, if they refi, they literally get that cash.
Right. Yeah.
They can use that towards, I don't know, putting something on that, another deck on or whatever they want.
Seasons room. Whatever.
Yeah. So it's cool that they're doing that, or if they're going to be a cash deal, then you guys are actually offering that as an additional incentive.
Yeah. So if you don't want to take advantage of those rates, you get $20,000 worth of flex cash, which you can put towards either the price of the home or closing costs. Yeah. Yeah. Which is pretty nice if you're a cash buyer.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And one of the things with the community, obviously, as we talked about location, but with that not being, a mile or two off of Route 1, yes, we're, more centrally located between Route 1 and 113, but we're not right on Route 1, so with that comes a little bit more aggressive price point as well. So if someone's looking for a home that's maybe a bit more aggressive price point, or fits their budget a little bit better, they still want amenities, it's a little bit difficult for us to find that because we have to go inland a little bit farther. So we tend to run into either these small communities that are on like 3/4 acre lots because they're well and septic. So they're like, oh, I'll put my own pool in. Well, it's like, well, you can't because there's a leaching field there for your septic system. So this is cool because you actually have a community with amenities. So you're a little bit reserved. You have public water, you have public sewer, you have natural gas, so what Josh was saying. So it's pretty cool with that price point on top of it. So which is nice.
Absolutely.
And they're good sized home sites too. I believe they're 1/4 acre lots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's one thing that I noticed when I first went through Liberty West was the spacing between the homes. I mean, it seems a lot more comfortable than, again, a lot of the other new communities that you see.
Sure.
And that's the benefit of being a little bit farther out from the beach is typically the home sites are going to have, you're going to have, wider builder setbacks. So you're going to have more space in between your neighbor.
Yeah. The developers almost, they realize being farther out, like we have to do some things to make it a little bit more attractive for someone to maybe want to be, maybe another 10 minutes away from the coast. So for someone that's like, I really love this at Tower Hill or at another community, maybe even Monarch Glen, but I want a little bit more space, a little bit more elbow room. Okay, just drive a little bit farther, maybe also save some money. I mean, starting at $369.9, that's awesome.
Yeah, pretty hard to beat.
Is that including that $20,000 buy down?
So no, so that's just going to be the base price if you were looking to build.
Wow. So they could, in theory, if they didn't want to do anything, buy a base price house at $349.
So you're more so looking somewhere closer to $370 because like the lowest priced lot premium that we have right now, $7,000.
Okay. Yeah, you got to throw. Okay.
Yeah. So you're looking like $377, I guess, at that point.
With your premium.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Cool. No, I mean that's awesome to be able to have that. You have, how many floor plans are available in this community?
So we've got 6.
6 floor plans. Okay.
Yep.
And right now, and they range obviously 1 story with the owner suite on the first floor because it's 1 story. Do you have 2-story plans or mainly just 1-story plans in this community?
So we have the Cordoba as well. So that's going to be our largest floor plan, which is going to be close to that 28,000 square feet. That one's going to be starting at $445, which I think is incredible value.
That's really not. Yeah.
Yeah. If you walk through that home, you would not expect to see that price.
What do you find people after they go through selections? We'll say on the biggest floor plan. What do you find people end up putting it in on top of? Not counting the lot premium, just on the house itself in selections on average.
So with the Cordoba, because the back deck isn't included, that's typically one that people go for.
Sure.
It's one of the larger back decks that you can get on a home over there at Liberty West. That's one almost every single person that I've talked to, they want that plus shower, the frameless plus shower. Trying to think of any other upgrades that people really gravitate towards. Of course, the looks, interior, and palette, that's something that people put a lot of thought into. That's really going to be one of the bigger ones.
Sure.
That you're looking at.
So do you find that they're at like maybe like 50,000, 100, 500? Like where do people tend to land, on average? If you
I
had to
would
guess?
say on average, well, if you're talking with the back deck, you're probably getting closer to like 80,000 in upgrades.
That's not bad.
Without the back deck, you're
On a
probably,
big house, like
Yeah, on the if you're not getting the back deck, I would say closer to like 50,000, maybe even 40,000.
and then if we're looking at, we'll go down to
Well, let's real quick
Yeah.
go back to the Cordoba because that's a really unique floor plan. The Cordoba has 2 owner suites, correct?
Yep.
You have one on the main
Really?
level and one on the second floor. So it's a great floor plan if you, for example, grandparents are living with you or the in-laws. They can have the first floor. You can be upstairs with the kids and have your own, kind of space, which is really nice. I really like Cordoba for that reason. I mean.
and an office and a flex room on top of that. I would have assumed there's obviously no chance of an office with that.
Yeah, so you essentially
Wow.
have 2 offices there because you have what we call our hub, which
Right.
is like that flex office space, and then you have the larger office right off of the front door.
Where's right here?
Yeah.
Let's check
Yep.
that out.
So you can use that for storage or maybe,
Yeah.
like you said, like another little office there.
So and this is going, and then if we go upstairs with a big loft. Wow.
Is there? I thought there was an option for a second floor owner suite.
I don't believe so. You're gonna get a second owner suite on the first floor.
Oh, that's what I meant. Yeah. Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah.
So right across from the office, you have that second.
That's right. Yeah.
What's nice about these is that you have a little hall here with this bath. So I mean, someone could even in theory, if they wanted to have someone come in later on and put a door in there, so that way kids could be in the loft, and then these guests could almost have like their own little
Yeah.
bathroom, like it's quartered,
Just like a guest
private
suite.
Yeah, I mean it's a great way of utilizing that space. Yeah, it's a primary. Okay, so this one up front.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
In that footprint, wow. With 2 offices.
Yeah. I honestly, I think the Cordoba is probably my favorite floor plan
Yeah.
that we offer.
Yeah, we'll get out there and we'll do. Do you have a spec on one of those by chance?
We
Or
remodel.
oh, cool.
Yeah,
Better yet.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll get out there and we'll do like a video on that, so that way people can kind of see what that looks and feels like. And then, so we go as big as this. So this is like 2,800, you said, almost, 2,791. And then you go all the way down to the azalea, which gets you just over 13, just about 1,350. This is obviously going to be a much more simple floor plan, a little covered front porch, 1, 2, so a 3-bed. Just so a pretty standard 3-bed, 2-bath house,
Exactly.
that we see down here.
Yep. You still got that 2-car garage as well, which is great.
Is there a bath? Oh, a bath right here. Okay, cool. Yeah, nice. Yeah, so I mean, that is really, a good spread for this community. Obviously, do you know in this community, are there rentals allowed, short term, long term? How does the rental scene look there?
Yeah. So the lease period minimum is a week. So
a week. Okay.
Yeah. So rentals are allowed. You just can't do daily or weekend rentals.
Well, that's where that Cordoba comes in.
Yeah.
Because now you can have multiple families kind of kick in on it. And
Pasadena too with the extra suite.
Oh yeah.
Check that one out. Yeah, look it's a really nice layout as well.
it's a pretty kitchen.
That's the classic.
Yep.
Josh has done this once or twice.
I remember.
It was in and out.
I remember.
So for people that have been watching this now that didn't see before, Josh was on the podcast we did with you first. Josh worked for K-Hub for 12 years.
Almost 12 years.
Almost 12 years. So he's very familiar with the product, and he's our go-to Hovnanian agent at our team. So.
I love that they switched over to looks. I mean, it really just simplifies the process.
Can you guys explain that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have 4 different looks that you can choose from.
Is that like a palette, like a color, what is a look?
Look is going to be the style.
Okay.
So I mean the style of cabinets, light fixtures, hardware. Then within the look, you're going to have up to 6 different palettes. Palettes are where
So the look is like the style.
Yep.
Okay.
It's going to be the style, and then the palettes are going to be the different colors of countertops, cabinets, and that's going to flow through the entire home.
So the look is, it may be like a shake, like door, and another one that have a different style door, and then within that are the colors that you can pick for the door, or how does that?
So it's more so like if you're looking at the kitchen, it's going to be countertops, cabinet colors, and then light fixtures and hardware.
Are within that look?
Within that look.
Okay.
But that's also going to flow into, say, the bathrooms. So if you go with the farmhouse look, you're seeing a lot of matte black hardware and fixtures. You're going to see matte black mirrors, light fixtures in there as well. And then if you're doing, say, the frameless upgraded shower, you're going to have the same tiling as you have in the backsplash in the kitchen.
So you can do a look and then also add some, some details to it, upgrade details if you want to, like doing a frameless shower.
Exactly.
Cool.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, if you want to click on the looks interior there, I think they have some.
Yeah, we can actually go through.
What's really nice too is that you have in your model samples, right,
Yep.
of the looks style. So when someone's going through the selection process, they don't need to go to an actual off-site design center. Everything's in-house.
Yeah, so we have books for every single palette, which has samples that basically encompass that look palette.
Right.
So it's going to be the countertops, flooring, cabinet color, just everything.
And when you're pricing out a house too, it's like before you leave that day, you're going to know exactly what's going into the house, right? And and exactly what your price points.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So this is like what you're talking about here. So I'm assuming Elements is a look.
Yep.
Loft is a look.
Yeah, and Elements is actually no additional cost. So if that style doesn't necessarily matter too much to you, you can go with the Elements look. You are going to lose the wall oven and the microwave in the wall as well, but you do get some extra cabinets.
Okay. Now, what are some standard things that come with the homes that you're building there that someone like, is it like standard with Formica and you have to upgrade to granite, or like how does it kind of work with some of the?
You're going to start with granite.
Oh,
So
awesome.
With Elements, you're going to have a granite countertop. You have 2 different options for the palettes within Elements. But as you're moving through, say, Loft, Farmhouse, and Classic, you're looking at quartz countertops for all.
Oh, cool.
Just different styles as far as the actual color.
So like Elements isn't like a cheap watered down thing, and then you work your way up. I mean, if you're, hey, I'd rather have to start off with 2 granites, then like 7 formicas I can pick from and then work my way up. How about flooring? I'm assuming, is it like LVP or like hardwood in some spaces and then like carpet in the private spaces, or how does the kind of the
So standard is going to be carpet in all of the bedrooms and potentially the office, depending on the floor plan. But you can move up to our second flooring configuration where you're getting that hard surface all the way throughout, whether it's engineered hardwood or LVP, which when it comes to flooring, we are a la carte. So regardless of the look and palette that you choose, you can pick that floor.
Oh, cool.
But I always tell folks, we have designers that curate these looks and make sure that flooring coordinates well with everything else. So usually it's better to go with whatever flooring is suggested for that.
There is, for sure, some people will go through and they'll say, hey, well, I want to be able to pick out, and, you have extremes, full custom, which is, from everything from like, let's move that wall over 2 inches to, every single nook and cranny of everything, how you want to do it. And then you have, go down to like a spec that was already selected. And then there's every option in between with different builders. And some people, they think that they want the full flexibility of being able to pick out the color knob and everything. And you get into this, or you can very easily get into this analysis paralysis when you walk in. It's like, well, what should I be picking and how should I? I'm not an interior designer, so tell me what to put there and I'll put it there perfectly. It'll be level, it'll never fall. I know exactly, but I don't know what to put things or like what color. I actually did a half decent job at this office. Surprisingly, it's outside of my wheelhouse. But please don't use this as a reference because trust me, I have no idea what I'm doing. So it is nice to be able to like walk in and kind of have someone that does know what they do or what they're doing to say, here are some current trends and ideas on like, for how many looks did you say there are?
4 different looks.
4 different looks. So like here's 4 styles that we've kind of helped eliminate some of that analysis paralysis, and then you can kind of fine tune it.
Yeah.
But like the main heavy lifting has been done to make sure that things look right. Whereas I've walked into homes, I'm like, what were you thinking? Right. And I'm sure they may have walked in and been like, it looks so much different when we were like because you have like little swatches of stuff, or like you see like one cabinet door and it's like, oh, this is going to look so nice. And then you see it all put together and it's like, whoa.
And also have a better idea too. Like you can walk into one of our models, see that look, and you know for certain this is what's going to be in my home.
Yeah. True.
Which a lot of builders, usually sometimes in their model homes, are putting options that they don't normally offer.
Yeah.
Right. So with looks, it's like you want your house to look exactly like the model, you can do that.
Yeah.
It's very easy to do that.
Yeah. So from what's available right now, there are some quick move-ins that are ready now. Again, for anyone that wants to take advantage of that 2-1 buy down, you would have to select a spec home and close by the end of May. So with that cool, and it tells you what look it is. That's pretty cool. I'm going to apologize to everyone watching this. It's my computer or my TV here doesn't render well, so it's a little tricky. So we have an Aberdeen, which is it's like almost 2,000 square feet, 3-bed, 2-bath with a 2-car garage, and it has that farm style look. So that's going to be like you were saying, like with the matte black.
Exactly. Yep. You're also going to get a farmhouse style sink in your kitchen. It's a porcelain sink. A lot of people really, really love that.
Yeah.
Do you offer 3-car garages?
Yes, for the Aberdeen and the Asheville.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Car garage bay option.
Now that depends on the home site, of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then
That's a great option.
That's $439. I mean, that's
15 minutes to the beach.
And and correct me if I'm wrong. I want to make sure that I'm explaining this properly. So this is $439.9, and if they were a cash buyer, that would be $419.9.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So it makes a big difference.
No,
depending on
that's
how you're financing.
Yeah, and then we go all the way over here. Okay, so this is going to be the farthest one. We have another Aberdeen here.
Aberdeen's a great floor plan.
Is this kind of like is this like in the middle?
It's
Like
one of their models too, right?
Yeah. It's right in the middle, smack dab in the middle. Definitely, I would say probably the most popular floor plan out of all the floor plans that we offer at Liberty West.
And this is a model at Liberty West?
Yep.
Oh, cool. So you have a big one and then you have this one.
Yep. Exactly.
Sweet. And then, so the Asheville, that's going to be Is that one above that the azalea that we looked at? Okay.
Yep. And this is another one that's super, super popular. Very manageable home in terms of maintaining. Pretty traditional 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home. So works for a lot of people.
So I'm assuming that's probably going to be similar to all these one-story homes. I mean, we have a room can only be so small.
Yeah.
So we have basically what the size of a guest bedroom is, what the size of an owner suite is, what a bathroom, kitchen. So you can only configure those blocks so many ways unless the house is really wide and narrow. So that's where we tend to walk in the foyer. You have the casing opening with 2 bedrooms and a bathroom. You walk through a living room. So the Aberdeen and the Asheville, I saw that obviously the azalea kind of has that flow. Or do these also have that similar kind of setup? Or
It's actually going to be a little bit different than what we saw in, say, the azalea.
I guess we can just simply look at the floor plan.
Yeah, and actually, I realized the Asheville is actually very similar to the Barcelona as far as the great room, kitchen, and dining area, and also the back deck as well. So you're gonna have that great room, which flows into the kitchen, then the dining room. It's more segmented than some of our other floor plans, like the Aberdeen. You kind of just get one big space. And of course, there is a space for dining, the kitchen, and the great room. But this is a little more segmented, but still open at the same time.
So this is neat. I've seen this with a number of floor plans. To when you have the dining room that kind of comes out like this, and this is covered. So does this always come? Well, is it ever grass, or is it always like a screened-in porch? Or
It's going to be that covered deck.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. The upgrade would be screening it in. You would get Trex along the flooring as well. But yeah, no, I mean, it's awesome that you don't necessarily have to screen it in. You still get that back porch.
Well, and it's private, so that's where you put a hot tub, and then you have some privacy from your neighbors, no matter what backyard or what type of lot that you pick. That's super private because you have a primary on one side and your dining room on the other. That's really neat.
There's also some unique standard features too, like in the great room. In a few of the floor plans, I believe vaulted ceilings are standard, right? Yeah.
So in the great room, you're going to see a vaulted ceiling from right when you enter that space, and then back to that wall right in front of the covered deck.
And I believe the tray ceiling in the primary suite too.
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So that used to be an option with K-Hop.
To do a tray.
Yeah, and vaulted.
And the vault.
Yeah, now that's standard.
Is this tray in the foyer standard as well?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice. Those are nice details. It's one thing when you walk in and it's good drywall work. That's nice.
Yeah.
But if you were to upgrade that and put a tray in, it just adds this additional detail. And you can always have someone come in later on and crown it if you really want to step it up even more. But to have that shape already done into the framework, it's just adds a nice detail to it. It's really nice. And I've seen people do crown in those trays and they recess it off and do some rope lighting in there. It really adds a nice accent to it. Which is so simple to do, and for people that do that, if you need a tradesperson, we've got some great people we can recommend. So that's good. Well, so right now you said 6 spec homes. Obviously, there's the potential they can just do a to be built. They can look at a home site that's available. They can go through all the process. That process takes on average how long from once they were to sign a contract to moving in?
You're looking at anywhere from 5 to 6 months if you're doing a to be built. Honestly, we probably could build one in 4 months, but we always like to factor in at least 45 days for permits.
Yeah. And who knows with rain and things that can happen. We're running in the spring here, so who knows once April kind of comes rolling around what could happen.
Yep.
But even still, we're looking even if we were to go crazy 6 to 7 months, you're in obviously before the end of the year, which is nice. Fully done, signed now, and you're in by then. Whereas and the specs you can literally be in even before summer.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
So if you're thinking hey, I want to get my beach home, this is the option. It's a nice thing that you can just walk in, look at it. You like this house, buy that house.
It's a huge driver for some people.
Sure.
So there's a lot of people out there looking that want to be in before summer, and if they're looking for something new, I mean, it's a great option for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now on a to be built, now I know you have the buy down rate promotion on the quick move-ins that can close by the end of May. What are your incentives on a to be built?
So right now, because we did bring down the price a decent bit, not working with any incentives.
But you did just drastically reduce the starting prices.
And
so
that was a pretty big driver for a lot of people too. Just reaching out to people that have visited in the past, letting them know, where we are with pricing now. It's definitely got people walking right back in the doors.
Sure.
So I think it really worked for us.
Yeah, I think that it's really important for people when they go there. Like, you got to drive there a couple times, because I can remember the first time my impression was like, wow, this is really far out, and so whatever. I've done that when I went to Milton for the first time, and Milton's like 5 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
It's just what happens if I were to go to Boston and drive around. Things seem as though they take a lot longer the first time you do it. So you have to drive it and then realize, like, oh, wait a second, this is literally like a couple blocks, it feels like, from Route 5, which is like gets you right into into Millsboro. So it's one of those things. Make sure that you are driving the area. If you're checking this out, make sure that you're calling us. Sorry, Nick. Call us first, and then we'll bring people into you.
Yeah.
But no, and to that, our job obviously is to make sure that when clients come in, that this is a community that fits what they're looking for. And also, they may come in looking for something else, and we say, hey, look, have you ever considered maybe saving $60,000 or $70,000 if you're willing to maybe be 5 or 10 minutes farther out? You still get your amenities, you still have public water and sewer, you still have gas and all of that. So this is something, our job is always to expose our clients. We like to always say our clients are just really smart. They don't live here and do this all day, every day. We do. So we want to take our education of gathering data and doing podcasts with people like you and making sure that they're making the most educated decisions possible. So we'll run them through that. We find that Liberty West is a great option. We bring them into you, and then, but then I always say, now here's some homework that you have to do. Go drive to Lowe's and see how long it takes you to get to Lowe's. But drive it, and maybe drive it a second time. Just so you're like, oh wow, it seems so long the first time, and the second time it was like half the time, because now you know what to expect. It's really funny the way that your brain plays tricks on you when you're anticipating it. It seems like things take so much longer. It really is a great centralized location for huge savings.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing, is to remember, like, these floor plans are offered in other communities that are closer to one at not this price point. Or even close to it. So,
and also sometimes for some people, it opens up more opportunities too. You can visit other areas of Sussex County that maybe you're not familiar with. And
look, we don't, we come here, and a lot of people come here because they love the beach and everything, but we go to the beach for 3-4 months out of the year. So there's a whole other seasons that we do stuff. So we go to Pfeiffer's Farm, and and we do all these other things that are outside of just being 100 yards off of the ocean. Spending all of our time. Yes, that's fun during the summer months, but there's fall, and there's winter, and there's spring, that there are other things to do, to your point. So, like, there's a whole lot of other stuff. There's also Maryland, there's stuff. You go into Berlin, there's some really neat stuff in Berlin, and Salisbury, and there's so much stuff to do. So this puts you even more centrally located when we start to expand our view out even more so.
Absolutely. And that's one of the biggest values that I saw when I first got out there.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, hey, I thank you for coming on. Let's continue to do this more and more. I love having you guys on, and especially when we're talking about communities with spec homes, because I'm not sure that everyone maybe knows or is aware that these are available, especially with things like a 2-1 buy down or $20,000. You can get into some homes that are at a really aggressive price point. So
absolutely,
I appreciate you coming on. And again, hopefully we can get this out there and let people know about a really good offering. So
it sounds great.
Cool.
Awesome.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks.